At least 22 races remain in the 2025 February competition. That's 16 races in round 2, 4 races in round 3, and at least 2 races in round 4. We'll run them all today, and we'll start with round 2. 16 races to determine round 3. Folks, ladies and gentle cars, my name is Farkle 8000, and I've delayed long enough. Let's get racing in round 2. First 4 competitors lined up at the start line. Siren, 27, Birthday, and Orange. And it's Siren with a great start. Orange coming with him through the transition. Siren flips onto his roof. They're 3 wide coming to the line. Birthday is bouncing, but will cross the line with the win. Siren had a great start and just lost it coming through the transition. I mentioned this in the last competition. He's a very light competitor, and light competitors do not do great through the transition. He just lost it. And Orange as well had an equally great start, and she ended up in second. Johnson, Charger, Double Liner, and Fender. And it's a very even start. Fender and Double Liner in the lead. A big bounce by Charger, a little sideways as Fender pulls ahead of Double Liner to grab the win ahead of Johnson. A great start by both Fender and Double Liner. But as the race went on, it was Double Liner who lost the speed. And Fender kept things up. Drives on to the next round. Velvet, Department, Basket, and Exalta. Department in lane number 2 is the first of 3 New Yorkers to have made it to round number 2. And it is a very even start. It looks like Basket and Velvet might have a slight advantage. Department tips on 2 tires, and Velvet and Basket are side by side across the line. Velvet just narrowly beats Basket, crossing the line in first. It was a great run by Department. Unfortunately finishes last and eliminated here, but moving on to round 2 here, does great for his points position. It's Velvet though, moving on to the next round. 30, Gregson, Sean, and Shooter. And it is a great launch by Shooter, a car length ahead of his competitors, coming through the transition. Gregson sideways on the side of the track, but Shooter is unchallenged as he crosses the line. Gregson barely gets across his finish line piece as Shooter takes an easy victory. Man, at the end of the last video, I said I was confident in Chomps' speed to get the win in this competition, but I don't know, I might have to change that to Shooter. That was impressive. Harvick, Citron, Horseplay, and Gamera. It's a pretty even start through the transition. A big bounce from Citron. Harvick a little on the side, and Horseplay drives to the lead and takes the win. A pretty clean race right there. No one really made many mistakes, except maybe Harvick getting up on the side. Yet he finished second, so that didn't really affect him. A great run there from Horseplay. Just used his long run speed there to grab the victory and move on to the next round. Diablo, Black, Lego, and Armorall. And it's a very even start. Armorall eking ahead a little bit. Lego bounces in the air, and Diablo and Black pull ahead to the lead, and Diablo will be the one to grab the win. Man, it looked like Armorall there early, and then I guess he just didn't carry the speed through the transition like he needed to. Handed the win to Diablo. Mahindra, Howler, Comscope, and Moneylion. Howler in lane number 2 is the only non-NASCAR competitor in this race, so let's see how he does in this one. And it's a very even start. I have no idea who's in the lead. A wobble through the transition, and they're still 4 wide. Howler, though, pulls into the lead and grabs the victory ahead of Mahindra. Howler, being the only non-NASCAR in this race, did not affect him whatsoever. Comes home in second, beats out all the NASCARs, and this is really strange because Howler, I completely dragged him in the last competition for DNFing, and now he's winning. This seems to happen a lot in this series. Last season, I dragged Chomps for being really, really bad, and then he went out and won the next competition. So maybe Howler can win this competition. Chomps, Drafter, Fastenal, and Mixer race next. Watch out in lanes 3 and 4. That's Fastenal and Mixer. In the last competition, in round number 1, Mixer got onto his side coming through the transition, and Fastenal was right in front of him. Fastenal got a little frustrated. They had a conversation about it, and here they are, one competition later in round 2, racing each other once again. And it's a very even start. Chomps pulling ahead a little bit. A big bounce by Fastenal into the side of Mixer. And Chomps will pull ahead to the win ahead of Drafter. That might have been a little bit of payback right there for Fastenal trying to slow Mixer down. Unfortunately, it didn't work though. Fastenal comes in last, and I'm still feeling good about my Chomps pick for the win. He moves on to the next round. This next race was actually recorded. We ran the competitors, we raced them, we recorded it and everything like that. But once we got back to my phone to stop the recording, my phone had apparently run out of storage, and so we don't actually have this race. But we ran it. We did not do a redo so we could show you for fear of a different result. And so I'm going to do my best here to explain it. So in this next race, we have Motosaurus, Hyperice, X8, and Sprinter. Sprinter in lane 4 is the second New Yorker to run in this competition. And we were a little worried in the last competition if Sprinter was in the same race as Patrol. Apparently they're not, so get ready for the last New Yorker in the next race. Once this race began, it looked like X8 and Sprinter had the lead, pulling ahead, and Sprinter was actually able to hang on. They were pretty close coming down to the line. I thought X8 finished in second, so imagine my surprise when I got the results, and Hyperice came in second, so a pretty good result there. Sprinter getting the win, moving on to the next round. I'm very sorry we don't have this video for you. I hope that this doesn't happen again, but really, who knows? So I hope you appreciated that explanation of the last race from me. Keep in mind that my angle is a little bit different from yours, and my view of the race was also in full speed. So definitely did my best there. I was very paranoid for the rest of this competition, but luckily we have races for the next one, including this next race with Patrol, Blitz, Symbol, and Demon. Patrol in lane number 1 is the third and final New Yorker to have made it to round number 2, and I feel like he's screwed in this race because his other 3 competitors are all champions of the last 4 seasons. Blitz 2021, Demon 2022 and 24, and Symbol 2023. So let's see how Patrol does against his championship competitors here. And it looks like Patrol is actually holding his own 4 wide, coming across the line. He bounces big, though. So does Symbol. Demon has the lead, and Demon will grab the win. A very similar thing of what I was talking about in the last competition. Symbol was super fast, but coming through the transition, he got up onto the side and nearly wrecked, handing the win to his competitor. It was actually Demon in that last one, so maybe he's pushing just a little too hard with Demon. Patrol also pushing a little too hard, got up on the side there. Demon, your defending series champion, moves on to the next round. This next race is rookies only. Hooters, Wallace, Driftrod, and Cheetah. And it's a very even start. Cheetah pulling ahead, coming through the transition. A wobble there. Wallace up on 2 wheels. Cheetah still has the lead. Hooter challenges at the line, but Cheetah is able to hold on. And Cheetah, for the second race in a row, living up to his speedy name, getting the win, moving on to the next round, beating out his rookie competitors. Shifter, Roadster, The Bug, and Python. Lanes 1, 2, and 3 are rookies, and Python is not in lane number 4. So I would call this the System Sucks once again, but Python's actually a pretty competitive competitor. So let's see how she does in this one. And Python certainly holding her own. Roadster seems to have a slight lead. The Bug wobbles. The rookies pull ahead, and they're 3 wide as they cross the line. And it's going to be Roadster with the victory. All 3 rookies fast and refusing to lose that one. Python fell back, so didn't stay competitive the whole time, but certainly showed she could be. Roadster gets a rookie statement win ahead of his competitors. Carvanha, Worldwide, Dodge, and Flyer. And it's a pretty even start. Dodge and Flyer pulling ahead. Dodge bounces big. That gives Flyer enough room to pull into the front. Though he's challenged to cross the line, Flyer will get the win. Looked like it was going to be a battle between Dodge and Flyer, but after Dodge made his mistake, Flyer capitalized and grabbed the win. Drifts, Pursuit, Club, and Future. And it looks like Future maybe with a bit of a lead. A big bounce. Club on the side of the track. Pursuit was a little sideways as well and bouncing between lanes. Future will grab the win ahead of Drifts. Man, that was a win that could have been Pursuit's gone bad. He has the speed to win, but after that big bounce, you saw him bouncing side to side in his lane. That slowed him down. Enough to finish third, not enough to get second or the win. Future grabs the victory, moves on to the next round. 2 races remain in round number 2, and they're both 3-car races. The first one is Polar, Mach, and Red. Polar and Mach are rookies. Red is a veteran. And it's a very even start. Red might have a slight lead, but now Red tips onto her roof as Polar and Mach battle for the lead. It'll go to Polar. Polar gets the victory as Red lays on her roof. An unfortunate finish there for Red, but a great run there for Polar, beating out his rookie competitor Mach for the win. 3 drivers and 1 race remain in round number 2 of the February competition. There are 3 big-name competitors, but this race could have a huge impact on the season. We have Plymouth and rookies Stingray and Comic. Comic is your current points leader by just 5 points, and he is also the rookie points leader by 18 over Stingray. If Comic loses this race, he will more than likely lose those 18 points and then some to Stingray. He would also more than likely lose the points lead, which would be the first time that has ever happened in the points standings history. So buckle up, as this could get big. And Comic has no speed out of the start line. It's a big bounce by Comic. Stingray's in the lead. Plymouth's challenging, but Stingray will grab the win. Stingray grabs the victory. Comic comes home in third, which means we'll have a points lead change. Or at least more than likely have a points lead change. And for the first time in 2 years, the winner of the first competition will not go on to win the next 3. And for the first time since 2021, we'll have different competitors winning the first 2 competitions. So yeah, the results of this race is absolutely massive. Let's take a look at the final 16 competitors remaining in this competition. Any one of these guys could win this competition. That is massive right there. I have no clue who could win, but I am definitely going to give my best guess on who from each race makes it on to the next round. In race number 1, I said it when his race ran. I'm confident in Shooter, so I'm going to pick him for that one. In race number 2, I've been saying it since round 1. I'm going to pick Chomps in that one. Race 3 is a tough one. You have a defending series champion who wants to win in his defending season. You have 2 rookies looking for their first career win. And you have the only New Yorker to have advanced to round number 3. Oh, this is tough. I think just based off past precedent and the unknown with everyone else, I'm going to pick Demon with this one. That is a very tough race, though. I could be very wrong. And then the last one. I know you're probably expecting me to pick Stingray, which I would, except for the results of round number 3 in the last competition. Stingray got beat out by Comic. The same race, might have even been in the same lane. So I'm unconfident there. It is between Future and Polar, and I think I'm going to pick the rookie. I'm going to pick Polar in that race. So from race 1 to race 4, my picks are Shooter, Chomps, Demon, and Polar. So I could be very wrong on all of them. Actually, the first 2 I'm pretty confident on. It's the last 2 I'm not very confident on. Thankfully, we'll find out if my picks are correct or not in just a second. So we'll be back for round 3 in just a moment. I'm not gonna dilly-dally. You just heard my picks, so let's just get straight into the racing. Birthday, Fender, Velvet, and Shooter compete in race 1 for spot 1 in the final 4. And it's Shooter with another early lead. He wobbles up on 2 wheels, and Fender drives to the lead. He's ahead of Shooter as they cross the line. Oh my gosh. I did not see that coming at all. Where did that speed from Fender come from? And where did the speed from Shooter go? What on earth? Wow. Wow, that was incredible. And I'm being told upon further review, as Shooter came off the transition and hit the sidewall, popped up on 2 wheels, that is the most likely spot where he lost all of his speed. So that is huge for him. Had a chance to win this competition, lost it right there, crumbled under the pressure. Fender, calm, cool, and collected, drives on to the next round. Our next 4 competitors are lined up at the start line, ready to fill spot 2 in the final 4. Diablo, Horseplay, Howler, and Chomps. And it's Chomps with the early lead coming through the transition. He pops up on the sidewall. Diablo and Horseplay are sideways too. Chomps gathers it back up and crosses the line ahead of Howler as Diablo DNF. Chomps made a slight mistake. Was lucky he was so fast early to be able to have room to gather it back up and still have the lead, still get the win. Howler really the only one who didn't make a mistake during that race. He just wasn't close enough. So I am 1 for 2. The next 4 drivers are lined up at the start line to fill slot 3 of the final 4. Sprinter, Demon, Roadster, and Cheetah race next. Roadster and Cheetah in lanes 3 and 4 are rookies. Demon, your defending champion. Sprinter, the only New Yorker to have made it to this round. And I thought this was going to be the unpredictable race. So far, they have all been a little unpredictable. And it's Sprinter with a big early lead, wobbling through the transition. Cheetah up on the sidewall. Demon as well. Roadster comes across the line with the win. My pick of Demon will come in last after coming off the track. Cheetah in 3rd. Sprinter almost got the win right there to make it to the final 4, which would have been fantastic for his points position. 2nd place here is still pretty good too. The rookie, Roadster, drives on to the next round. 3 down, 1 to go, and the final 4 cars of round number 3 are lined up at the start line. Flyer, Future, Polar, and Stingray are up next. There are rookies in lanes 3 and 4, and competitors who haven't won in a long time in lanes 1 and 2. And it's Stingray with the early lead, bouncing through the transition future. Way in the air, it's Stingray with the lead, but here comes Polar to grab it at the line. Polar comes out of the middle of nowhere with a huge burst of speed to grab the win and make it to the Final Four. The Final Four is set, and Stingray has choked it once again. Here are your results. I got 2 out of 4, so 50%, that ain't bad. With how unpredictable those races became. Wow. I don't know who's winning. I have no idea who's getting the win. I would say Polar, but it could be Chomps. It could be Fender. That was an incredible race by Fender, so I have no idea, but we'll find out in just a moment. We started with 252 competitors, and we're down to the Final Four. Folks, ladies and gentle cars, it's time for round number 4 of the February competition. I hope you're ready to meet your Final Four, because I'm ready to introduce them. Starting in lane number 1, it's Fender. This is his first time in the final round, first time in the Final Four. He is looking for his first career win. Starting in lane number 2, it's Chomps. His most recent win came in September, just a few competitions ago, just 1 year ago in 2024. He's looking to put win number 3 on his total. Starting in lane number 3, it's Roadster. He's a rookie looking for the Point Series lead, the Rookie Series lead, and his first career win. And starting in lane number 4 is Polar. Polar has pretty much the same goals as Roadster, looking for the Rookie Series points lead, the Regular Series points lead, and his first career win. But only one can actually complete their goal. If you're wondering on how one wins a competition, well, worry no more. Let me do my best to explain it. Competitors will line up in lanes 1 through 4, as I've said, and race down the track. The finishing positions will be noted. They'll swap lanes and race down the track once more. If a competitor wins 2 in a row, they will win the competition. If they don't, we'll swap lanes and keep going until 4 races in. Once we reach 5 races in, I'll explain what happens then. 2 competitions, 2 races on this channel have gone further than 4 races, so it is entirely possible that we get there. Without further ado, it is time to start race 1 of this round. A reminder on the starting lineup. Fender, Chomps, Roadster, and Polar is how they line up. And it looks like Chomps with a bit of an early lead. He bounces now in front of Fender. It's a battle between the rookies, and Roadster will get it across the line. Chomps makes a mistake and DNFs with Fender halfway down the track, and Roadster grabs the first advantage of this competition. If he wins this next race, he is a competition winner. They're lined up back in the start line in new lanes. They shift left, so the new lineup is Polar, Fender, Chomps, and Roadster. Roadster in lane number 4 has the advantage. If he wins this race, he wins this competition. And it looks like Chomps with a slight lead once again. He wobbles Polar way in the air. A little wobble for Roadster as well, and he passes Chomps before the line. Roadster wins the February competition. For the first time in a long time, 2 rookies win the first 2 competitions of the season, and it's Roadster today getting his first career win. What a competition this was. And the finishing results. Unlike the last competition, the finishing results of this one are the same, race 1 to race 2, so there is no grudge match. Your finishing position from 4th to 1st is Fender, Chomps, Polar, and of course Roadster with the win. He becomes the 37th different winner of the Diecast competition series, and this has shuffled the points quite a bit. We will show you the point standings. We will not hyper analyze them, but we will show you them anyways. And we do indeed have a points lead change. Stingray grabs it from Comic by just 5 points. She was 18 behind in the last one, now 5 points ahead here. I'm not going to do the mental math there because it's going to take me way too long. But Stingray comes into second. Stingray comes into first. Comic falls to second. Polar in third. With this great competition here, drives up there. Then the rest of the top 10 is Plymouth, Future, Red, Mock, Flyer, Club, and your winner, Roadster. I know I'm not going to hyper-analyze this, but I want to point out Red in 6th place. This is the best points position she's ever had in the Diecast competition series. I really hope this can continue because it is great seeing her up there. So there's your top 10. Your top 3 from the last competition. 222 falls to 11th. T-Rex Destroyer falls to 13th. And Stunts falls to 15th. And that is it for the February competition. We will be back. Hopefully, we're on time later this month for the March competition, and that competition is huge for the season. I will mention more when we get there, though. If you don't want to miss it, subscribe to the channel. You won't miss that competition. You won't miss any other competitions for the series. So that's it. Congratulations to Roadster for winning the 2025 February competition. You are now a Diecast competition series winner. Folks, ladies and gentle cars, my name is Farkle8000, and we'll see you later.